Welcome to the Redflex. Welcome to the Global Fan Cam. And what a treat we have in store for you guys today. We've got Chris, we've got Suhail. Big, massive thank you for coming on the Redflex. Just to give you a little bit of an insight, just before we go to Chris and Suhail, just to give you an understanding of the dynamics of what we have today on Global Fan Cam. Chris, diehard Liverpool fan, wears, breathes, bleeds Liverpool. Suhail, as we can see, with a beautiful United top, is a massive Manchester United fan. And we're going to be discussing all the fallout from yesterday's game. And just in case you didn't know what the score was, I'll give you a little reminder. Manchester United 3, Liverpool 2. Man United go on to the 5th round of the FA Cup. Something Liverpool don't really understand what it's all about. Not the greatest of records in the FA Cup. But let's get straight to it. But a quick reminder for everybody, if you haven't done so already, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Redflex. Let's get straight to the video, and we'll try and go through a bit of a chronological order, quite a few topics to fit in. But Chris, I'll come to you first. Starting lineups were out. We'll focus on the Liverpool side of things. No Sadio Mane in the starting lineup, but a very strong Liverpool team. Salah, Firmino, Thiago, the greatest midfielder in the world, as we're believed to be told, the best right back in the world, the best left back in the world, the best goalkeeper in the world, Alisson. Were you happy with the team that Klopp sent out?
I mean, you know our weaknesses, the troubles we're facing at the moment at centre-back, which you quite rightly missed out there. So, yes, we do have strong players. Mane's not being on the form, so I can understand why they didn't start him. Obviously, the big problem, as you saw the lineup, Reece Williams, centre-back. You know, it's hard to pick out on he's a young player coming through, but, you know, getting thrown in at the deep end at Old Trafford, it causes some problems. And I think not having a regular back four, it's causing Liverpool problems. You know, the build-up play from the back going forward, it slows our game down altogether. So, yeah, concerned seeing the lineup yesterday, really, just with the issues we've been facing at centre-back.
I think yesterday was a game where Virgil van Dijk obviously could have been a little bit of use. I thought Jordan Henderson did a good job when we played you the week before when it was 0-0. But we'll get on to Reece Williams a little bit in more detail shortly. Suhail, first of all, explain to me how your Sunday evening was. And secondly, what were your thoughts on the United starting lineup?
Great Sunday evening. Don't think we've beaten Liverpool convincingly in quite a while. But we did that yesterday.
How many years?
How many years isn't important. We don't live in the past.
Oh, really?
Starting lineup. I thought it was interesting to see that Bruno didn't start. I thought he would start instead of Van der Beek, but he had a pretty good game yesterday. Didn't do too much wrong. Attacking wise, we were quite strong. He played Cavani, Greenwood, and Rashford, and all of them caused a young Williams a lot of problems yesterday. Defensively, was expected. I think Luke Shaw had a great game yesterday, and Henderson had a good game as well.
No, agreed. First thing that I would say, though, is the first 30 minutes, I thought was the worst performance I'd seen from Man United in a long, long time. We kept giving the ball away. We kept trying to roll it out from the back. Salah, Firmino, I think Curtis Jones was on the left, and they kept winning it again and again and again. Led to the first goal. Wijnaldum had the keys to Manchester. He had the space, the time to do whatever he wanted, and he passed it to Firmino. And I was shocked that Firmino could actually execute something. He did. He put a through ball in. It reminded me a little bit of FIFA, Chris. You remember all about FIFA, me winning that FIFA tournament. So yeah, I know you remember FIFA. It seemed like Lindelof and Maguire just spazzed out, and Salah, who needed a goal, it was crucial that he got some goals because he's been on a bit of a dry patch, you could say. Good finish. Liverpool went 1-0. What were your thoughts on the first goal, Chris?
fantastic finish. Bit harsh comments on Bobby Firmino. You know, he watched Liverpool week in, week out. He's getting all the assists, the flicks. It's just, he's the kind of guy you want in your team. And I think you say about Salah having a goal drought. I mean, he's probably scored more than most of your players this season still. Golden boots the last few years. So, but when you set the benchmark so high for yourself as a player, then it comes with pressure. So yeah, nice to get the first goal. Thought we controlled the game early on. I don't know if United were trying to act like City, you know, playing out from the back. But I mean, you've got to have the quality and the passing game to be able to play that way. So,
do you think that's something Klopp noticed that we do that? Do you think that was something that you were trying to target?
I don't really know, because you don't really see you guys with the ball enough to understand what kind of play you normally go for. So it's normally a long ball off the top, you know. I mean, it's great to see Harry Maguire on the ball. I mean, as a Liverpool fan, seeing him trying to play, thinking he's Virgil van Dijk, it's always pleasing to see, you know.
Actually, some interesting news. It happens that just before Man United bought Victor Lindelof, it was a straight choice between Van Dijk and Lindelof. We ultimately decided to buy Lindelof. So that's something very, very interesting. But Suhail, talking about long balls over the top, I think that's exactly what Liverpool found, especially James Milner. Thank God it was James Milner, not Fabinho. Lovely through ball. Greenwood, one-on-one, puts it into the back of the net. Something that I found funny, Robertson thought he was back in the parks in Liverpool and tried to put Greenwood off. What were your thoughts on that goal?
I think it was a David Beckham-esque assist by Marcus.
Beautiful ball.
Great ball. And I think Chris can agree that that finish by Greenwood was world class. Not many who can finish like that in football these days.
Probably one of the best finishes around.
Let's not get carried away, lads. Let's not get carried away, lads. Come on. I mean, it was a mistake by Milner. We got done on the break. Yeah.
Big mistake. And then ball over the top. Poor defending, I think. But similar
I think we've been watching Trent and Robertson, you know, that kind of balls. So it's good to see we're having a good impact, you know, getting the balls in early as well. So good to see.
What did you think of the fact? I thought Rashford caused you massive problems on the side that Arnold was. Obviously, Arnold likes to make runs up and down. Same with Robertson. But I thought that was something that Solskjaer was quite clever, whether it was Solskjaer, whether the players themselves. Rashford positioned himself in great kind of positions. He almost as if kind of left Arnold and said, you know what, you do what you're doing. And as soon as we win it back, we're going to attack, and we're going to attack with pace. And it caused you a few problems.
Yeah, I think that's we're going back to missing Van Dijk. When you've got a good solid partnership at centre back, you can take risks with your left back and right back going forward. And you've got Van Dijk, who's got pace, power to cover them positions. However, you're taking them out of the team and you're playing that attacking game. And you've got obviously pace in the counter attack. It's always going to cause us problems.
Going on to the second half, Suhail, we were given the greatest gift that any team could be given within the first couple of minutes. Reece Williams exposed, no left foot. Rashford returned the favour by Greenwood, puts him through. Was there any doubt?
No doubt at all. One-on-one, he's not going to miss. Not on the big occasion. He's done it a few times. I think he's done Trent.
Oh, yeah. I think Trent is still cleaning his shorts from a couple of years ago. The ground.
Yeah, I thought he had a bad game yesterday. This season, I think his passing's been off. It's sort of leaving Rashford. Not the best either. Sorry?
His crossing's not been the best either. It's almost as if he thinks, let's just lump it in and see what happens.
But when you're getting the assists, I mean, I think he got more assists. Take Bruno Fernandes out. I think as a right back, he's probably got more assists than all your players the last few seasons. So the records speak for itself. The Premier League medals speak for itself. The Champions League medals speak for itself. He's in a bit of
We're going to get onto that. We're going to get onto that, Chris, and I'm sure you're going to be full of passion. You're going to be full of intensity, and that's exactly what we want on the Redflex. But it was 2-1. I thought it was it. I was thinking How much is it going to be? Is it going to be 3? Is it going to be 4? I thought I need to get some material ready for the Redflex so I can get some stuff posted on Instagram and celebrate. But I was surprised. Liverpool came back into the game. To be fair, it was a goal that was gifted, similar to Reece Williams. We passed it out. Cavani lost the ball. Salah obviously put it into the back of the net. Chris, how confident were you at that point that the game was yours?
It was a tense affair, to say the least. So it could have gone either way. You know, I think as well as a Liverpool fan, it's probably the best Liverpool United game I've seen in the last few years. I think it was actually attacking from both teams, going for the win. So it's good to see. I mean, a club like United actually coming to have a go again instead of coming to shut up shop and going for a 0-0 draw. I mean, yes, we're not in a good place at the moment. So at home, it's what you expect.
Would you not agree, though, there isn't just one way of playing football, Chris? I know that this high press, Gengen press that Klopp likes to, you know, install, that surely isn't just the right way, isn't it? I know that the media love to kind of applaud teams, similar to City, Liverpool, you know, the high pressing, attacking football, but surely there's other ways of playing football. And I think Mourinho, maybe even, you know, Solskjaer with us as well recently, playing the counter-attack. Why is that seen such as a negative tactic? Klopp certainly doesn't like it.
Because I think when you've got the level of players you have in your team, and as a football fan, you expect, if it was Burnley going up against someone like City and that they'd sit back and, you know, it's more of an expectation. I think when you have a squad of players and the money that's been spent on the players that you have, you want a better brand of football. I mean, I think Mourinho's tactics, it's an old style. And is it going to win you Champions Leagues and is it going to win you the league? That is the big question. So, yeah, I think for me, I'd rather play the right way and lose than play a way which is negative.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Suhail, 2-2. Ole with an inspired substitution. I think yesterday was, I think it was nearly 20 years to the day where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came onto Old Trafford as a substitute. His goals knocked Liverpool out of the FA Cup. He had a big hand in terms of bringing Fred on, bringing Bruno Fernandes on. Little bit of controversy to see whether or not it was actually a free kick or not. For me, it was a stonewall free kick. He should have been sent off if you ask me. Fabinho was on a yellow card. He kneed him in the back of his leg. I think he forgot the rules of football, Fabinho. But clear free kick. Bruno Fernandes comes on. Just before you actually tell me and talk me through probably one of the greatest goals I've seen at Old Trafford in recent times. We've got some comments. Antrich says, Jurgen Klopp said no penalties. Guess what? Bruno scored a long-range penalty. Interesting. AY says, great insight so far. Glory, glory, Man United. Antrich comes back and says, and I also heard that Liverpool need the NB kit sponsor to be back because their balance is all over the place. Very nice. And he has more things to say. He says, also, we have AB de Villiers on the show. Wow. AB de Villiers, for anybody that doesn't know, is a South African cricket player and has an awful lot of resemblance to Mr. Christopher Jones. So, Chris, once you've come on with this, I'm sure you can have a little look and confirm or deny whether or not that is the case. Is it ABV de Villiers in disguise, is it? Or is it Chris that we've got on?
I don't know what he looks like, to be honest, so I'll have to Google him. He must be a good-looking chap, that's all I can say, if it resembles me. I normally base myself on the Greg Rutherford. To be
ashamed of. One of the best cricket players going, so that's something that is a positive. So Suhail, talk me through Bruno Fernandes' goal, and did you think it was a free kick?
100% a free kick.
Oh.
Anywhere else.
Oh, did you disagree?
See, Greg Rutherford disagrees, but had that been the other way around, Liverpool fans would be screaming for a free kick there. He's pulled him down outside the box. 100% free kick. I'm not going to go as far as a red card. But,
it was on a yellow. It was on a yellow.
He was already treading the line.
Sent off with the first tackle. Studs were showing. It was an awful, awful tackle, in my opinion. Out of control, out of balance, reckless tackle. from Fabinho. So lucky to be on the pitch. Chris, so you disagree? Am I right in saying that you disagree with the fact that it shouldn't have been a free kick?
I mean, going back to the yellow card incident, it's not a red card. It's he gets the ball, the stud goes over it, he catches the player. So yeah, yellow card, fair enough. The free kick, I mean, the commentators, the match pundits afterwards, no one thinks that's a free kick. So, I mean, as a Liverpool fan,
me not go into the back of our player, or was I watching another game?
He knew what he was doing. He put his leg in the way of the play. He saw Fabinho coming. It's clever. If I win the free kick and we score a winner from it, I'm celebrating. But also, I'm an honest football fan, so I would come on here and still say that, you know what, it wasn't a free kick.
The integrity of the Redflex on the line. He's saying that we are not true footballing fans. That is a disgrace. That is shocking stuff on the Redflex. Suhail, tell me, there's a lot of arguments saying that, you know, Kevin De Bruyne is the best midfielder in the Premier League, especially after City beat us 2-0. Everyone was saying there's no argument to be had. You know, Fernandes is not in De Bruyne's league. Since Fernandes has joined the Premier League, no person has got more goals or assists than Bruno Fernandes. He had one or two games where he didn't score, even though saying that he did kind of, you know, still hit the post against Fulham, still made the goal. In your opinion, is he the best midfielder in the Premier League right now?
Absolutely. I think if you look at his goals and assists, it speaks for itself. I think his influence on United, I don't think anyone else has that sort of influence on a team. De Bruyne is a great player, but I think the rest of the team also make up for that. And his impact at United since he signed is second to none. A lot of people say it's the second coming of King Eric, and it's hard to disagree.
I would disagree because I think he's had more of an impact, to be fair. But just to get a Liverpool's perspective, as we are a channel for all footballing fans, Chris, Bruno Fernandes, I know obviously Thiago is a slightly different player in terms of position. But in your opinion, Bruno Fernandes, is he the best midfielder, goal-scoring midfielder in the Premier League? And you're a true footballing fan.
He, on current form, he is the best. But for me, you talk about legacy and what he's actually done. Kevin De Bruyne, for me, is just a complete player. And also, you've got to remember Bruno Fernandes, or Penandes, as some people like to call him. You know, he has scored a lot in the penalty spot. And he has had a massive impact on Man United. But as a footballing fan, as Suhail said to me a few years ago when we signed Salah and we started playing better, he said, it means nothing unless you win something. At the end of the day, these records, the top goal scorers, most assists, unless you're bringing trophies home at the end of the year, then it's all for nothing. But yes, I would agree on current form, he is the best midfielder in the league at the moment.
In relation to Thiago, there's something that I was thinking about, and I wanted to ask you, Chris. So you bought Thiago. I'll agree, he's probably one of the best midfielders in the world. He come from Bayern Munich. He won the Champions League. But in my opinion, I think Thiago has got a lot to do with the fact why you're struggling, and I'll explain why. So we all know in the last few years, your midfield has not been the strongest area of your team. So there's a heavy reliance on Arnold, Robertson, Salah, Mane, and Firmino. Since Thiago's joined, normally what happens is the ball transitions into the midfield. They very quickly get the ball to the wing backs and they feed it into the strikers. But with Thiago, he likes to keep hold of the ball. He likes to pass it, move it. And I don't think the Liverpool team's built for that kind of pattern of play. And that's kind of disrupted a couple of things, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I think the midfield that we go for allows our wing backs to have free flow and attacking football. We want steel, someone who can defend, move the ball along quickly. And I think for me, our starting midfield is Fabinho, Gini, and Henderson. I still think that is our strongest midfield for the way the team play. You see the way Thiago plays, he's a fantastic footballer, but it's going to take a bit of time to adapt. And I think he will come good. He's been injured. He's only just coming into the team now, but I think the dynamic has changed in the midfield, definitely, which is having an impact. But I think, again, this goes back to the transition from defence to midfield. That is not quick enough, and then that affects the whole play.
We've got some comments. I think you've really rallied up Anthric here. He says, come on, Eddie turned Fabinho like Brazilian samba or something. In relation to Bruno Fernandes, he says, most non-penalty goals by a midfielder since he signed. Interesting. Ramps says, Bruno defo this season, Ballon d'Or nominee top 3. I would agree. He also says, might as well win it. Anthric says Thiago is the Brazilian Charlie Adams. Quick thoughts on that, Chris?
I mean, what's Charlie Adams won in his career? Do you know what I mean? It's crazy to talk that, and I think if you talk to any person with footballing knowledge will rate Thiago. And also, yeah, I mean, 30 million. I mean, how much was Fred? I mean, wasn't Fred a little bit more than that, and he's not done much.
Yeah, just a tad, a little bit more. I think it's maybe 40 to 50. I don't know the exact sums, but I think it was 40 to 50. Suhail, yeah, how important was that win? Obviously, Solskjaer and the media like to remind us all that he's got to 4 semi-finals, not won the big one. He's now beaten Liverpool, the reigning, defending Premier League champions, knocked them out of the FA Cup. Is this a win he needed to insert the style and the kind of football that he wants to implement at Man United?
In that way, I don't think so, no. I think any game would be important for that. I think this game was important for confidence going into the game against Sheffield on Wednesday. And like Ollie said today, beating Liverpool is not important if you're going to lose to Sheffield midweek in the league. Yeah. But for confidence, it was a good game. It was one we needed over Liverpool just to, assert our dominance in the Northwest.
Yeah. So where are you situated?
Top of the table, actually.
So are you in the Northwest, Suhail, or you were down south?
He's the official Redflex correspondent from the south regions of the United Kingdom. So he's fulfilling a certain responsibility here. But Chris, I'm going to come back to you because it's something that I've said on a previous video. I was ridiculed for it, but I think it has substance. So and this is not, I'll put my Man United bias to one side. And if I was a Liverpool fan right now, I would be very, very worried, not only for the Premier League, but for top 4. And I'll tell you why. Because Jurgen Klopp has shown previously that he reached the top of the mountain, the top of the summit with Dortmund. There's quite a lot of similarities with Dortmund and Liverpool. Dortmund, underdogs, obviously in a division with Bayern Munich. He won the German Championship. He got to the Champions League final, but then it unraveled. It seemed like it was the end of the cycle for Dortmund. Again, with Liverpool, he's brought them up, Champions League final, he's won the Champions League, he's won the Premier League. He's never actually rebuilt a team and gone again. Are you concerned that this is the end of an era for Liverpool?
I mean, that's an absolute ludicrous question. I mean, I think it was a few United fans were saying Ollie out a few months ago, and now he's being lauded as a hero and the Messiah.
This has got nothing to do with Ollie out or Ollie in. This is about Klopp coming to the end of the cycle.
Klopp, he's just coming back with a manager of the year. We've had injuries to big players, and they're not. We've lost a bit of confidence. They need to get back to winning ways and winning mentality, but we stand by Klopp, of course, for what he's done to the club, the players brought in, how he's transformed the club. How can you doubt that? And I mean, we're 6 points off the top now. Spurs is a big game next week for us, but I think the wins will come, and I think there were signs of big improvements against you guys. It just needs to click. Once the goals start coming back, once players start coming back from injury, I think we're missing Jota. And it would be nice to see a centre-back come in January, but I think that might not happen, which would be a concern.
I think you're missing Henderson in the middle as well.
Yeah.
For as good as Thiago is, I think he kind of slows the play down, especially towards the end of the game when it was pretty even at 2-2. And he's getting the ball and he's not making the pass that, someone else would be making or someone we're pushing him to make, like Henderson.
Yeah, leadership qualities. I think leadership is a big thing when you're taking Van Dijk and you're taking Henderson out the team. Yes, we've got Milner who's experienced. I think you need that leadership to really help you get over the line and drive the rest of the team on. And maybe Thiago is not that kind of player.
No, I don't think he is.
Still, in terms of United season, then obviously still in the Europa League, still in the FA Cup, sitting top of the Premier League. Are you believing that it could be that the tide could turn? It could be an end of one era and a start of another.
We can only hope. We don't want to be deluded and thinking it's already won. But it's top of the table, FA Cup against West Ham next, Sociedad in the Europa League. So just need to keep the form going. Pogba and Bruno need to keep the level of performance up. I think we need few more goals from the strikers. I think people like Martial haven't been chipping in like they did last season. But it's all good so far.
It is all good so far.
That was a really sit on the fence answer. I mean, I want to know here right now live on the Redflex, what are your predictions for the end of the season? What are you winning, if anything? And where are you finishing in the league?
I'm going to go, we're going to win the league. Live on the Redflex.
You heard it live and exclusive. You've been given a spoiler. Manchester United are winning the Premier League. One last thing that I want to discuss as well before we kind of wrap this video up, because I know Suhail, he's got some business to attend to. Chris, this is another thing that I was discussing on a previous video. So we were talking about world-class players and what we define as world-class players. So would you agree that the levels that Salah, Mane, Robertson and Trent, the levels that they've reached, is that levels because they have the ability and that they are world-class players, or is it the fact that Klopp and the effect that he has on the players has brought them to those levels? Because I'm starting to think maybe it's not the fact that they're world-class players, it's that the Klopp effect is starting to wane.
I think it's a combination. Klopp gets the best out of his players. You're buying Gini Wijnaldum from relegated Newcastle. You're buying Robertson from relegated Hull. And you turn them into players now who are, worth 75 million, 100 million players. For me, it's our team cohesion. If you're working as a team, regardless if you've got world-class individuals, you need to have team cohesion, which we've always had. As I said, we're in a rough patch. So I would say they weren't world-class, but he's turned them into world-class players.
So considering, I think it's only fitting that you ask Suhail what we're finishing, what we're winning. What I would like to ask you, Chris, live and exclusive in front of the Redflex global community, what is Liverpool winning this season?
That's a big question. I mean, we've not been in the Champions League final for a few years, so I think we're just going after the Champions League. As I said, we've got bigger fish to fry than FA Cups and these small fry competitions. I think being the club we are, the global brand we are now, only the big cups matter to us. So I want to see us progress in the Champions League to the latter stages.
Do you think you'll finish top four?
Yes. Yeah, I 100% think we'll finish top four. I mean, that's a minimum expectation. I think we want to be challenging for it, and I think we just need to get a run of games. It's a strange year. I think City look strong, but City looked out of it a few months ago. So there's still a long way to go. As I said, once a few players start coming back from injuries, we string a few wins together. Who knows?
So you're telling us Champions League, Chris?
I'll take a Champions League and a top four finish. That will do me for the year.
Interesting. I'm sure we're all going to be eagerly anticipating to see what Liverpool do this season. Very quickly, Suhail, I know that you've already said that we're going to win the Premier League. What would you be happy with this season? Premier League, is that enough? Is that enough for us? Or do you want more than that?
I think this season we need to win something. It's been too long. We need to progress and win something. So
you've always got a challenge. You've always got a chance in the second-rate European competition you're in anyway. So I think there'll be a few little easy teams to get past there. And silverware is silverware at the end of the day when you've not won anything in a while.
Is silverware. In the last decade, Leicester City have won the Premier League once. Liverpool have also won the Premier League once. Manchester United have also won the Premier League once. And it is a strange season, so anything can happen. Anything can happen. I'm going to let you know what I think is going to happen this season. And I've got a few kind of things that lead me to believe that something special is going to happen this season. So Man United are on course to win their 21st Premier League title if they are successful. We are now in the 21st century. I have recently moved houses, and you know what the door number is to my house, Chris?
29.
It's 21. These are things that are starting me to believe that good things are going to happen, and Manchester United may have already put the final nail in Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool season. That's about it from the Global Fan Cam. Chris and Suhail, thank you so much for joining on the Redflex. Chris, although I know that you support Liverpool, you are always very, very welcome on the Redflex if you want to start discussing the title race once Liverpool are out of it. Suhail, obviously, we've got a lot more conversations to have of what could be a massive season for Manchester United. Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Redflex. Until then, stay safe, and we will all see you again very soon.